Greetings, everyone. I'm alive, and so is Tina. We're both here. I'm calling from the Big Island of Hawaii, and I'll let Tina say hello. Greetings, Tina.
Greetings, Tommy, and hello, everybody. Good evening from here in Southampton, in the UK. Hope you're all well tonight on Encounters. Tommy's got War and Peace and Aliens and Religion. So it will be a good show. We've got some stuff to go through as well. So, and we've got John already in the chat room. Anyone have any questions, please let us know. I'm going to hand it back to Tommy. Tommy, hello.
Right, we've got a lot of things to get into today. If you're watching the news, you watch the news, or you don't, you hide from it, whatever your story is. And all I say is, we're hardcore. At least I am. I know Tina is with what she went through. We're putting the truth out, people. It's not like going to a UFO convention and listen to stories about somebody else's story, what happened years ago. All right. She's going to have breaking news to give to everybody to hear, to listen to. But it's going to be interesting because I'm telling you, this is a place, if you want the truth, come here. If you don't come here. Because I base everything I say on all my actual experiences. We're going to be talking about Bigfoot and everything else. But I don't go on to what everybody else says, what everybody thinks and all that. Now, let me say this straight out, people. Everybody's asking me for pictures of UFOs. Well, where's your pictures? We had thousands of them. We've been putting them up for 10 years, and nobody cared. Now, because I said, oh, we had pictures. Oh, well, let's see them. Why didn't you care? We lectured around the United States from 1996 to 2002. We lectured in every couple of states. We did 2 conferences a year, and that was through Global Sciences. It ended because the person that ran it died. We had speakers from all over the world come to it all the time. I knew everybody at the time. We had a lot of cool people in the UFO world, and all of them are dead and missing right now. So it changed a lot. And then when he died, it was completely ended. But every year before the conference started, somebody was either killed or put in jail before they got there. I'm talking about Global Sciences, and this is real, people.
Tommy, you've got a question already in the chat room.
I didn't see any aliens that are bad ones.
Are there bad ones, and how do we tell the difference? And okay. how do we defend against them?
Here's a simple thing. I'll tell you straight out. There's no good ones. So guess what? You got to defend yourself against all of them. If you're getting brainwashed, like a lot of these people are, oh, they're good, they're going to help us and all that, but they don't. So they never did anything good for the world, ever. In the past 40,000 years, they destroyed the planet, they corrupted mankind, and they created a lot of false ideas of what a God is. So we're going to talk about that as well. But people, to defend yourself, what I will tell you, raise your spiritual awareness the highest you can in any way you can. All right. And I can tell you a story. I had the book and somebody borrowed it. I never got it back, and I could never get another copy. It was about a woman on Long Island, and the government came after her. They threatened her. They said if she releases the book, they'll kill her. So they killed her. All right. The husband was there. It was 2000, and he had to adjust the clocks for the government. Certain people had to change the clocks for 2000 when they said, oh, it was going to crash and all that. But I met with him. I went out to Long Island, sat down with him. He said he's under watch for the next 10 years. He can't put out anything. But he told me what his wife was doing and everything else. It was so bizarre. But here's the story real quick. His grandmother and his grandson were abducted. And when they took him on a ship, she was screaming, in the name of Jesus Christ, let us go. They threw them both on the ground. When they hit the ground, she had a heart attack and died. Happened. It's a real story. I met the family. So again, there's no such thing as good aliens. Even these people say, I'm an experiencer and I had a great trip. We always talk about that. At least I do. Because there's more people coming out. Well, I was with the good aliens. And my best friend, I'm not going to say his name. He filmed ships over Washington, D.C. every day. He's got the most expensive telescope. I ended my friendship with him last week. Because he's going over his childhood story. He was with the Greys, hanging out with them. The government was watching him and hanging with him as well. And he's talking about that now. I said, why now? Aliens aren't good. The Greys aren't helping us. They didn't help you. I mean, he got thrown out of his brother's house. They said he was crazy. And he's living with somebody. He's got no money. I mean, it's a sad story, but he's claiming all this stuff now.
I think again, John's also come up with something in the chat room. John has said China is building a satellite protection over their country from.
Well,
But
here's the
I
thing,
tried
people.
to do that.
Go ahead, Tina.
It's my understanding that if you had a way of either interrupting, not producing an EMP field, or on a smaller scale, or interrupting a electrical magnetic field rather than a pulse,
Did
they
you read that?
don't like that. So if you could come up with that, I understand like radar and that attracts them, you know, the pings on the radar that the planes give kind of attracts them to it, I believe, or they don't like that. But an interrupted electrical magnetic field localized will protect you, I believe, from them. How you obtain that, I have no idea, but that is my understanding, Tommy.
Well, realize we did shoot down a bunch of ships already. All right, we shot a Pleiadian ship down, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'm probably the only person in the UFO world that can tell you this story. Fred Bell was a friend of mine. I wasn't super close, but he was really cool. He said, "I'll tell you things that I can't tell my family." He worked with Billy Myers. He was on their ships all the time with the Pleiadians. They told him if we shoot one more of their ships down, they will destroy the United States and any country that tries it. All right, and this was years ago. I'm talking maybe 22 years ago. I mean, he only died a couple years ago when he did Jesse Ventura's show. But he was a really cool guy. His company's out there. They make nuclear reactors and all kinds of space jewelry. But everything he gave, put out there was what he got from the ship, of being on a ship with Billy Myers' friends. All right. And he said they're not friendly. I mean, they're not really helping us. They're here for their own reasons. It's not like they're going to help us build a better anything. But again, people, there's no good aliens helping the human race. If they wanted to help us, we would get it, and we're not. And we're real close to war. The head guy of the United States just came out and says, we're in a ready for Third World War because of Ukrainian people. He said, what's his name? Is starting World War III. I said, no, he's not. He's asking for help. And they wouldn't let you put a reply because I wanted to tell this guy off. And he's saying that the world is, we're going to have World War III because of this person. I said, no, not because of him. I said, the United States and every other country sat back when China destroyed Tibet. Nobody helped them. Why? Because they had nothing to give to the United States. Nobody helps anybody unless they can get something back. Remember that.
Just a question again. Sorry, Richie, in the I think Richie's right. Blast reported in Moldova. Moldova, for those people who don't know, is at the bottom, at the bottom and to the left of the Ukraine, and it's a very mountainous region. So they will be getting reports of blasts because they're trying to take over Donetsk, which is between further down the biggest city, Odessa. Odessa is the biggest city just before Moldova because it's a port. So they're going to try and bomb that, but the Ukraine's here and Moldova is there right next to it. It's a mountainous region, so they will get reports of shelling or blasting near the border. That is my understanding. But to just correlate what Tommy's saying about war and peace, this is a bit of news we have this week. So guys, check this out. Give me some feedback. Tommy will let you know. Tommy's right with a war and peace, and he's and most of all, I want to say a big shout out to Tommy because people said, "Oh no, he's nuts. He's argumentative. He goes on about the same thing." Well, Tommy's actually right. For months and months and months, he's been saying and seeing an increase in night maneuvers, night lights in the sky, and more UFOs have been reported seen off the coast of Hawaii. Now, get this. So Tommy is right. It's in black and white. Today, so guys, check this out. 3 hours ago, Microsoft News released this segment. It's called The Bang Show. So you can find it on Microsoft News on the internet, The Bang Show. Right. Now, a professor from Harvard, he's a top physicist from Harvard, Avi Loeb. That's Loeb, Loeb, Avi Loeb, a professor from Harvard University, said, and this is a direct quote from the article, a spacecraft plunged into the sea off Manus Island in Papua New Guinea. Now, he tried to get that out in the scientific world, in the physicist world, and he tried to alert other astronomers and get this news out. The US Space Command replied by saying, this is a direct quote from the piece as well, a US Space Command report. So the US Space Command made this report. They said it was a meteor that struck the water or entered the water. Now, this top physicist from Harvard University who studies such things, so he's an expert in his field. So the man knows what he's talking about. He's educated, knows what he's talking about. Top scientist. He's up there. Said he's adamant he's not being silenced. He's putting his foot down and he said, no, you're wrong. This is a direct quote from the piece as well. He says, Loby says he's adamant this was built by extraterrestrials. The physicist wrote, our discovery of an interstellar meteor that has hurtled towards Earth is a new research frontier. So he's saying this is a new point of science, a new point of interest, and a new research. This is a breaking barrier, a breaking frontier of research. Now, for those of you who are actually interested in where this is, it actually came down between Australia, you've got Indonesia there, and then the biggest continent above that is Thailand. But directly, and it's a deep part of the Pacific Ocean for those, it was a part of the Pacific Ocean, I believe. It entered the water, sorry. So this, what they're saying they believed, the US Space Command reported it as a meteor, but Harvard Professor University said no, it was an extraterrestrial built craft from an interstellar space, entered the water off the coast of the Manus Islands, Papua New Guinea. But directly to the left of that is Hawaii. Now, if you look at the map at Papua New Guinea and look over left and look over left, and there's no Pacific Ocean, smack bang between the two is Hawaii. So it would then go hand in hand. The professor is right with what Tommy has seen and seen in Hawaii. So those people that just believe that that Tommy was just saying this or he's been seeing it at night, this is really true. So not only does it back Tommy's story up, but Harvard University are world-renowned people for churning out high scientists, people of renowned. This professor is from there. He's a physicist in his field, has come out and questioned it. A US newly reported space command has reported it was a meteor. So there's the fight between them. But the physicist is adamant. He knows what he's talking about. He's saying, no, we're wrong, which then leads me on to saying, am I possibly right again? I said about the war this year. The aliens that took me said that there would be a war about 2022, probably end about 2026 or 28, 2022, 2026 or 2024. Look, it's in black and white from a few years ago, 2017, I think you'll find. And also, I said, he told me that the others were coming. They're not supposed to come here, but they do. Is this what the creature or being was telling me? Is this the others? And if it's come from interstellar space, perhaps this professor would like to tell us what part of deeper interstellar space it comes from. Tommy, back to you. So if anyone has any questions about that, go onto Microsoft News. It's on the Bang Show and it was posted about 3 hours ago. Any other questions? If you have any answers or any more information on this, please let me and Tommy know. But Tommy, over to you. Any questions?
All right, people. No, we got to keep moving forward. And you're not going to get that too many other places on the internet. All right. I'm not going to bring up the old hash of everything else. But when I mention war, you know, we're at every stage close to World War III. Now they're trying to blame different people for the problem. It's not a person's problem. It's a country's problem. And if we don't help a country in dire need, what are we? Just as bad as everybody else on the planet. I've been fighting about Tibet since Tibet was taken over. Now, United States never helped. The Dalai Lama is going around the world telling everybody about peace, while his country was being destroyed, while his people were setting themselves on a fire, begging for the Dalai Lama to come back, asking for help. They never got help. Tibet was taken over by China completely. They destroyed 250 temples. They killed so many lamas. People, do you care about other people? It's not about who's in this policy, who's working with this group. We're all people. We should care about all people being killed. All right, no matter where they are, what country. It's not like, well, we don't care about China. We don't care about Russia. No, we should care about the people. It's the government that's working on taking the people out, not the people. People are forced into a situation. Now, we have Mr. Musk doing what he's doing. We have Gates doing what he's doing. They're trying to rearrange the planet to the way they want it. And they will, people. They got the money. He bought Twitter. He wants to buy Amazon next. He wants free speech. Yes, we need free speech. We don't have it. All right. I mean, I lost 2 shows already because I said something that I don't even know what I said. And they didn't like it. They don't like a lot of things of what we say. But I know most people don't like the truth. Now, for what we're doing today, and everything I do on this show is based on actual experiences that I went through, direct friends that I am personally close to, not storytellers, not people out making money telling stories.
Tommy, I have a question.
Go ahead, Tina.
Great story with you. So this is War and Peace and Aliens and Religion. I have a question for you. So you're probably the most prominent person, actually, the correct person to give me this answer if you can. Just sat here thinking, if the Professor Avi Lobi is correct and I am correct, and this is alien craft that's entered the water off of Papua New Guinea, and these beings have obviously landed at a point that we cannot get to. They've picked that Pacific point for a reason. Now, obviously, if they'd landed on land or in a volcano or on the landmass above the water, we've been there in a few hours and things. But if these creatures then come up later on, say in a week or 2, a month or 2, wait for others to come, and they want to be embraced by a religious community, say, I don't know, the Pope come forward, or some other religious figure came forward from a different religion and said, we're here to help them. Now, would they, religious people, I'm not just poking at the Pope here, other religious figures around the world. So just supposing these beings were attacking humans from a different religious standpoint, just supposing you're Jewish and I'm Roman Catholic, say, and they were just killing all the Roman Catholics. Does that mean then the Pope or the Jewish rabbi would intervene and fight the aliens, or would they protect their flock? Would the Pope protect their flock, or would they protect the new wolves?
Well, let me say this. Religion's really screwed up right now. The Pope is probably one of the most, and then people, this is just my viewpoint, all right? Nobody else's. He's probably one of the most evil people on the planet right now. He's creating something called Chrislam, all right? He's opening up a temple, which is half Muslim and half Christian. 2 separate beliefs, and this is what he's doing this year, all right? He also condemned Adam and Eve's story. He said hell doesn't exist. He came out with a lot of stuff, everything that contradicts Christianity, all right? I don't believe he's good. Plus, the Vatican has aliens underneath. They have all the records of all that stuff, and they won't release it, all right? Now, they said years ago, if an alien race comes down here, they're going to teach them Christianity. And 2 different people in the administration came out and said that for the Pope. All right. Well, when he thinks they'll listen to him, like, oh, they came here to learn Christianity. But again, getting back to what you were saying, we're in a serious problem. Now, when these beings come down and start a war, it's going to be against everybody. It's not going to be against the Protestants, the Jewish, the Catholics, the Native people. It's against all of them. Native people have been wiped out, and they said they work with the star beings. I guess the star beings didn't help them very much. There was 50 million Native people, and it down to less than 1 million. Guess what? They never got help anywhere. So when people do, the same as now, one of the chiefs in the United States came out and said Bigfoot's helping them. Helping you do what? What did they help a person do, really? They steal people's animals, they kill animals, they do a lot of things, but they don't really help anybody do anything beneficial. I have one friend, he worked I don't think I should say his name, but he worked with Bigfoot supposedly for 40 years. He got married, and now his wife's working with Bigfoot and everything else. I had him on my show. I had her on the show. I let him talk, and then I said, okay, prove it. Well, I have 200 people that said they saw a Bigfoot. I said, have 2,000 people that were abducted by aliens. So, and nobody believes that. So witnesses are good in one way, but without solid evidence, the rest of the people aren't going to believe it. So now I'm going to say this too, Tina, and now this is real, people. One of the most powerful people I know on this planet. I can't say who, what, where, or anything. All I would say, they had the ability to go down in the base off of Hawaii. There's 2 different races off of our island. All right. I'm not going to say their names either, but they do have certain things that they're working on, and it's not working with people. It's working with the planet, if you can understand that. This person went down inside the base and met with them. So yeah, it is a real base, and there's a lot of things you got to learn to get down there anyway. It's not like she had a submarine or things to get down there and things like that. But the idea is there's a lot of things happening around us. Here in Hawaii, if you go near the coastline and talk to the homeless people that live on the beach, they'll tell you they see ships going in there all the time. All right. I haven't got down there. I've been trying. There's so much crime going around. My partner won't let me go out at nighttime near the beach because it was a shooting, 2 people killed, 1 person in the hospital. It's crazy out here. So she won't let me go. I've been trying to get an electric bike so I could load up all my stuff, cameras and everything, and drive down there. So they'll steal your bike, they'll steal your cameras, and then they'll kill you. But in the interim, there is so much stuff. I've been trying to go outside, and this is no lie. Just yesterday morning, I saw the stars and the moon. I put all my clothes on, got my cameras in a pack, and I was going out on my roof because I got a lookout tower. And I just got out there, and the sky turned black instantly, within 5 minutes. I didn't even see the moon anymore. I never get to see stars in the past 2 months straight. All right. And I don't know. I think it's a conspiracy. My friends go, oh, it was clear last night. I said, I was watching it all night. I mean, not every minute, but it was not clear. So all the stuff that's happening, I have been filming it up until about 6 months ago. I was filming all kinds of ships. Then about 2 months ago, I saw an incredible ship go back and this other ship curve around it and all kinds of weird stuff. And I filmed it. I didn't even download it off my camera yet. All right. But there's so many things going on. There's things going on over Tina all the time as well. I mean, it's just 2 people. We're talking and we still see ships. So what about all the millions and billions of people out there? They have to be seeing things. I mean, whether they just want to chalk it off and say, I'm just seeing things, or they just don't want to get involved, that's their choice as well. But it's a serious problem, and government won't talk about it. Like they're going to say that this is a meteorite going into the ocean. Really? I mean, anything that's anything, they turn it into something else. That's the way it goes down in the UFO world. So what I'm going to say, what I'm going to get back to what I'm talking about, everything I'm going to talk to you about is from my lifetimes, from the first time I came down into this realm to the time it is present right now. Meaning I am aware of almost all my lifetimes being in different time frames. And I only have 2 important time frames in all my reincarnations. One was when Atlantis was here. And I met multiple people. We talked about lots of things going on in Atlantis. I wasn't there when it was completely destroyed. I was there before it. But then I was alive when Jesus was alive. And that's another twisted story written by man. So where do you get your truth? From somebody that writes a story. Now, just to, I know we don't get into religions, but Paul, all right, one of the disciples, never saw Jesus physically. He had a vision. His experiences with Jesus was from a vision. And everybody believes what he said. But if Tina says something and I say something, well, I had a vision and, oh, well, they're just having a bad dream. You know, there's a difference between a vision and reality and a fake dream or whatever. Now, the most important thing is see what happens from it. What did it give you? What did it show you? And what are the events happening around it? Prophecies are there for a reason, people. Not because somebody wants to be famous. I predicted this. I predicted that. No, stop something from happening. That's a prophecy. If somebody's going to get blown up, after it's blown up, see, I told you it was going to get blown up. Did that help anything? We have to be aware. Billy Myers, when he came out in 1950, he wrote 100 prophecies. He sent them to every country around the world. 89 of them came true up until a couple of years ago. I don't know if the last ones came true or not in the past 2 years because I don't deal with them at all. But I had friends, Fred Bell, who I was friends with, went out there. and that's where he met Billy Meyer's friends and went on the ships and all that. Sean David Morton, they brought him into California for a couple of weeks. I mean, they know him personally. Again, we have a lot of things going on, and the government will never talk about it. They can't. So when people say, well, the government, and with this disclosure project, it's not going to happen, people. The same as a synthetic make-believe war created by the government's not going to happen. There's no reason for them. They don't need to put more fear in the United States. We have so much fear right now. We're afraid of a virus. Never mind aliens coming to attack us. All right, that's the least of their worries. If a big giant alien was walking on a planet, wow, that's cool. Would they run? If people were getting scrunched and everything, yeah, they'd run. But if it's a hologram, you think they're going to run from it? The government tried that already over a country. They projected an image of a god, and what they assume was God, these people, and they stopped the war for a day. But that's all it did. Did the alien come down and start stamping on buildings and crunching people and eating them or any of that? No. The people I dealt with almost everybody in the UFO world up until maybe the past 2 or 3 years because I haven't been on the road anymore. But when I was, James Gillen, I met him twice. He was living upstairs for 2 weeks with my friend. And then I went to his workshop and debated him live. Obviously, I'm a hardcore person. And he goes, well, you're coming from the bad side. I'm coming from the good side. I said, what's the good side? All right, I know what the bad side is. Tell me what the good side of working with aliens are. Because he claims he works with a being that he calls, whatever, Percy's, whatever his name is for this alien. And he's helping him. So, all these things going down now, right, with Stephen Greer coming out, building a center so people could go there, so he could teach them how to talk to aliens. Tina, do you want to learn how to talk to aliens? I'll let you answer that.
No, I do. Guys, so I presume human beings they're capable of more biologically and physically than what we do. We've just forgotten how to use it. And if they can contact me and talk to me, in their presence with telepathy, then they could do it with anybody. But what you would call contact isn't like, I stop by, we'll have a cup of tea, I'll send you a message. They take you against your will in the night. That is just basically it. They covertly abduct you. So if you think that's making contact or inviting them down for tea, then you're just seriously mistaken. And for people who say, well, we're waiting for contact, abduction is contact. Is any which way you look at it, abduction is a form of contact. When they take you, when they talk to you, they're telling you something. A different racial species is coming into our planet, into our atmosphere, into your home. They're physically taking you and they're talking to you. That is a contact. Now, it may be unwanted contact. That is their way of contacting the human race. Contact has already happened. Disclosure is you're never going to get that from the government, but that's if you're waiting for like the aliens to come down and wave on the White House lawn or come to the members of Parliament and wave to everybody in pictures. That is not going to happen. Alien contact has already happened. Tommy.
All right. This whole war thing, the United States government increased their money to $732 billion a year now. All right. Where's that money coming from, people? Do you think we're really in poverty? The idea of money, where it is, how much we have, nobody knows how much gold we have. Nobody knows how much gold China has. Nobody knows how much Russia has. But guess what? Gold just went down $100. Now, over the past 6 months, they've been trying to tell everybody, get rid of their gold. It's going to depreciate. They're doing that. And I'm telling everybody right now, they're going to try to get everybody to get rid of their gold. So when they turn gold back on, it'll be 10 times more valuable. And nobody will have it. People, look, don't follow what people say ever. Go by your heart. If your heart says get rid of gold, do it. But I'm telling you, it will be valuable again. Gold has been valuable for 40,000 years, and it's not going to change overnight. It'll change overnight, but it'll go back to whatever the value truly is, which will be extremely valuable. It's still the most important metal on the planet. So, people, getting back to this war thing, who's paying for all this war stuff? Where's all this money coming from? Everybody has no money. Everybody's complaining, poverty, and this, that. But they're spending billions of dollars on rockets, missiles, nuclear weapons, chemical warfare. So, what people, are you listening? Do you follow?
I work full time sorry, Tommy, I work full time here in the UK, and prices are about to rise and rise and rise again. So just suppose my gas and electric, what we call the utilities, just two of them, is $80 a month, say £80 a month. My new rate, my new direct for then the government to take it out of my bank is $150 or pounds. So it's doubled. So it's like 79, but it's $50. The dearest place in Britain to buy a can of tomatoes is like £2.38. It's like $2.50, $3 for a can of tomatoes. So that's in the most expensive place in Britain. And like just saying 1 litre of oil is like tripled in price. So just supposing it was like a litre of oil, 5 litres of oil used to cost you $2.99. It now costs you like $10.99, $11. So the prices in England are absolutely, they're soaring, and we're paying this price. They're giving billions away to a war or billions away to other countries off the backs of, well, I'm a slave to society. I'm working. They're taking my money. They're taxing it. Everybody's working. Half, 3/4 of Britain are living off food banks. But the problem is, and here in the UK, food banks are only run by people who, like me, who work and donate food and money to food banks. Now, I'm going to stop donating money to charities. I'm now going to stop donating food to the food banks because I won't have this to myself, because the bills have gone up over 100%. Utilities have gone up over 100% on top of what I'm already paying. So I'm paying them, then they've gone up another 100%. So in about 3 months' time, people are going to click onto that, and there'll be less and less in food banks and less money to go around to help other people. So where are these other charities and money, and the government's getting all this money from to give to other countries? I don't know. Tommy?
I have a friend around the corner. I debate her every day. We get into a hardcore fight for an hour. All right. She's on every site, learning every fact and putting everything together. She's really smart that way. But the problem is she brings up all the horrible stuff, and everything's horrible. Basically, I'm going to say it simply. The English language is created out of, you won't believe this or not, demonism. The words are relating to demonism when you translate a lot of the words and everything else. And it all has vibration. I don't want to get into that in too much detail, but it's one little problem that the Luciferians and the people that worship Lucifer are all involved with, and basically everybody in New World Order and stuff are a part of. Now, what their plans are, obviously, it's not for the poor and middle-class people. What are they really planning on? I said, whatever they plan on is not beneficial to the human race, because artificial intelligence, which we know is taking over, is slowly wiping out humans from being here. The newest Rolls-Royce car, not Rolls-Royce, what's the other one?
Tesla?
No, not Tesla. What was the most expensive car originally before Tesla came out? Oh, not a regular car, not the Rolls-Royce, but it was always, they always had the two together. Basically, I watched the commercial yesterday.
Jaguar, Bentley?
No, a more normal car, not like a racing car or a sports car. No, not a name, but it's a car. But here's the thing. I watched the commercial for it, and it says, our car learns every day from who and what you are and adapts to it and changes. They're saying the car has the ability to grow everything within you and understand everything you say now. So not only does it have pictures and cameras and controls your car, it's going to learn what you think and how you think. And that should be scary, people. I mean, that's just one more step in eliminating who you are. When you have things out there taking control over everything you do, including all your jobs, which people don't. And look, I'm hardcore, but I don't like when people lie. When Musk came out, and this is what he said, look, everybody better watch out for artificial intelligence. All right, you know what he says the next week? I'm going to try to eliminate all the useless jobs, meaning cutting out all the jobs for the little people. Does that make any sense if you're talking about artificial intelligence? So you have to listen to what people say. Watch what they do. Watch how they live. I mean, I watched him on a stupid, not laughing, Saturday Night Live and things like that. Watch these people. Watch how they really act. Watch how they think. Now, Gates and Musk were supposed to debate, and Musk pulled away from it. He said, no, I'm not going to debate him. Gates is trying to say he's helping the world, and Musk said, no, I'm not going to debate. The richest people who control everything are having a problem just dealing with each other. Never mind 8 billion people. Do they care about us in any way? We have problems. Now we got alien races coming here. Why do you think they're, I'm going to get into that. That's what I brought it up today. Why do you think they're really coming here? To help us? All these new age people in the UFO world, they're going to help us. They took me on a nice trip yesterday. Where to? What'd you learn? What'd you get?
All Tommy, right. Can I just interject there? Half the viewers, so Tommy's bang on what he's saying there. Tommy is right. When the world says that the intelligence community or Space Command or anyone else who's supposed to be open is reporting, no, it's a meteor, but they haven't said it's a meteor from interstellar space. Then you've got the science, the top-notch people. Now, everyone was listening to this point to top-notch scientific people, like people like SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Life, and other top-notch scientists. Space Command have now turned around and say they're contradicting what the scientists are now saying. Scientists are saying this gentleman from Harvard University, who is a physicist, is telling us a UFO has entered our space, entered our oceans, so that we're unable to get to it for an unknown reason. And the Space Command said, no, it's a meteor. So who are you now believing? Are you now believing the intelligence community, who everyone has said has lied to us all the way through, or are you now believing the scientists who always wanted scientific proof? The scientific proof people are telling you that they're here now. Answer that. Sorry, Tommy, go ahead.
Oh, I just figured out what the car was. It was a Mercedes. Okay. All right. It's one of those real expensive cars. I mean, it's not claiming to be a super spaceship or anything, but it's one of the most expensive cars in the United States. But people, when I say war, okay, the war has started a long time ago. Now, you have to understand, oh, well, it's not like we're going to have a war today or tomorrow. We never got out of a war. When Atlantis was destroyed, all right, we went into war. We became warring creatures, period. It was never peaceful after that. Why do you think aliens are not here? With all these beautiful buildings and everything else they built, why aren't they here? You have to realize they were always warring. And it's always about power. Power controls and destroys the consciousness. And whether you want to call it evil, whatever word you want to use, it changes it. And it's usually not for the benefit of the human race. So as we move forward, all these wars that happen, we became gladiators, and everybody wanted to go to see people kill each other. And that was an important thing. When they want to kill people, let's hang them up and torture them. It was people like violence, even though they say they don't. Boxing still exists, wrestling, all these things, Supermen in cages and stuff. We still allow it, and they get paid to do that. Now, I was into martial arts, and I was going to go into kick fighting. But in Thailand, kick fighting is until the death. They fight until one person can't move and can't get up. Whether they die or not, it's a different story, but they fight until that person can't move. So when it came to the United States, they allowed people to wear hand protection, feet protection. But, you know, if you put protection on your body and the person you're fighting doesn't have it, it's not really fair. Well, I don't want to hurt him, but he sure wants to hurt you. But we're violent people. We became violent. Nothing we do is beautiful, pleasurable for everybody. We don't think about the whole. We think about ourselves in general. And it's about the pleasure of what we can get in the moment, not on a long-term reason, all right, but on a short term. And I call it cheap thrills. And mankind's basic things, watching a game, it's a cheap thrill. Climbing a mountain, it's a cheap thrill. Jumping out of a plane, it's a cheap thrill. All the things we do are cheap thrills that last for a couple minutes, maybe a couple hours. But we're not here to save mankind, to help mankind in any way. The medicines we're putting out are super dangerous. Any commercial you see, I saw one medicine that didn't say it'll kill you, but 90% of them do. This could cause death. It's legal to sell a medicine that could cause death. That's interesting to know. So, you know, the war's at every level. They put poisons in our food for how long? And I keep saying, look, when I was little, we had Coke with Coke in it, real Coke. We ate hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza, and ice cream. Not one person was overweight. Not one. Well, in my whole school, we had one person overweight. My other school, we only have one person overweight. Now it's 60% of people are overweight. How's that possible? All right, when they created synthetic sugar, well, this is better than having real sugar. No, it's not.
Still sugar.
Everything they feed us is lies. So when they talk about the government coming, what's the government supposed to tell the world? We're working with aliens so we could destroy most of the world. Really? They're going to tell the world, the people that? And people in the UFO world have their desire to expose the government. What good is that going to do? You don't want to get them any more angry than they are. They could say, well, let's just wipe them out completely, which they could do. I can tell you a weapon that they had in 1969 that could level a city completely for 24 hours just by shooting one beam over the city. So guess what? They could do whatever they want. And, oh, well, we get too rowdy. Why do you think they build FEMA camps in the United States, people? Well, we don't know what a FEMA camp is. Well, you should. You know what underground cities are? Not one person ever in government talked about an underground city. Why is that? The billions of dollars being spent. What they did to Denver Airport. Nothing's being promoted or bragged about or talked about. Why is that, people? Do you care? 9/11 happened, came and went, and you don't care what really happened. And that's really pathetic because it's not what they said it was ever. Nothing that they said was even close to how it could have happened. And people think it's a good story. Well, they said this or they said that. Well, all those people that were involved with that are dying. All the firemen and policemen are dying. It was a horrible thing. And they knew what was happening. And that was about gold. They had to move all that gold from underneath that tower before it went down. So it was moved the week before. So people, do you care what's really happening? Or are you just here to have fun and hear a great story about good aliens coming and doing something? Go ahead,
On
Tina.
that note, Tommy, have you got your
Oh, it's that late already?
time of the show? It's quarter to already. So, guys, I have this Geiger counter. This is the back of it. Tommy has your deck one. This is my second one. I'll drop the first one just for Christmas and I've filled up with fluid. Just going to turn it on there so you guys can see. Press the red button, it turns it on. So the top one there is called volts per meter, electrical magnetic volts per meter. That's electrical magnetic field. And you see it there. And the bottom one there is micro testers. You'll see it there. Now, mine is not beeping at the moment because I'm holding it to my screen. I have a smart screen computer. That's Tommy, just hold yours there a second. Now, you'll see Tommy's top button. Turn it towards the computer a bit more. There you go. It's 37 to 39. Tommy's...
One thing, Tina. When I turn it around, it goes up to 180. When I turn it this way, it goes down. But
yes, you can see Tommy's one's flashing there, and you can see Tommy's one's going up and down. Now, that's because Tommy's screen is giving off electrical magnetic pulse or signature. Now, mine doesn't.
Right now.
But when I hold it to me, Tommy, hold yours to you. Does yours go off? Does your micro testers go off? See, look.
No,
now,
definitely not. Nobody. I tried it on a bunch of people. It doesn't go off, people. So Tina's the only person. Tina, right there, is the only person that this happens. And it's not a trick Geiger counter.
When I hold it closer to me, you see, not only now do you see the top one going off, you just see it. Let's go button.
And what I do know. Uh-oh. Tina, what are we going to do with you? What are we going to do with you, Tina?
When it makes that noise and flashes like that, that is a lethal dose. I presume, but from what the packaging says and the inside. But
she was okay 1 week after she.
Yeah, 1 week. Now each week you can actually see the readings there.
See the reading, people. That's real. We're not making it up. We're not trying to exaggerate. But she's radioactive.
So that's
people.
Electrical magnetic field pulse, and micro testers is a form of radiation.
Just so you know, people, I took mine around the neighborhood here in Hawaii. I went up to the towers, the cell towers, the whole parking lot where the cell tower is radioactive. Different degrees in different parts of the parking lot. All right. The new tower has none. So the 5G tower doesn't radiate the same frequency radiation. And it's probably because our Geiger counters aren't that advanced to detect it. All right. But when I drive down my road, there's a nuclear place where they buried bombs. And I get near it, my Geiger counter goes right off. So I'm saying mine works when I'm near radiation. So
mine's a different reading each week, but lately it's been very high.
She gets it to go off whenever she put 99% of the time it goes off when she goes near her body. Now, I don't know how much she likes to talk about it, but she has all the symptoms of radiation poisoning, all of them, not one of them. Her teeth, her hair, her nails, passing out. All these things are effects of radiation poisoning. I keep telling her her friend, I call her friends because they're bugging her, but they're keeping her alive.
They're not my friends.
Anybody with that kind of radiation shouldn't be able to be walking around. Seriously. Silkwood, the movie, watch it. Cher
What?
was in it. Silkwood, the movie. Cher was in it. They were working in a nuclear plant, and she became radioactive.
Yeah, I
And
think
she
I've heard
died.
of that. Yeah. I
Watch
think
the
I've seen that.
symptoms. I mean, they went into all the details and everything else. They couldn't save her. But here's one other thing I'll tell you. Nobody else can tell you this. New Jersey, where I lived most of my life. Picatinny Arsenal, the first army base in the United States, people. The first one. All right. Right across the river, George Washington had his headquarters. It was the first house, first building in the United States as well. All right. Picatinny Arsenal was creating super soldiers, and they did 22 years ago. They created 6 of them. They were about 8 feet tall, red eyes, and all these weird things. But everybody in Picatinny Arsenal had to wear a Geiger counter badge that detected radiation, because the second they had radiation, they had to be sent somewhere. But these beings walked around until they stripped them out. They were completely radioactive. All right. Now, I'm just telling you this because there's somebody talking about, well, we're going to start creating robots. No, whatever you hear today was created 25 years ago, and maybe even 50 years ago. We started working with the Gray's ships a long time ago, people. Fred Bell, who I was friends with, was one of the first people to work on them. He was brought into the government at 14 years old. My other friend, I can't say his name because we're in the middle of a battle right now. But he said he worked with the Grays and the government was watching him and working with him and all that. Well, when the government works with somebody, it's never for a good reason. I can go into the story. Maybe I will. I don't know if Tina would want to sit through it. I might do it alone. But about what really happened at the Montauk Project, which was the effect of the Philadelphia experiment, when they created this chair and they were putting people in this chair to send them in time, and all kinds of weird stuff went down. All right, I can go into all that. I was involved with it. I wasn't in the chair. I didn't work with the people directly, but I saw the Bigfoot. I saw the Hershey's monkey. I saw Tesla's notes when he said he worked with aliens. People, there's so much stuff going on that they're not going to tell you, and they won't. Tesla was working with DuPont. And you know why they changed the chemical in DuPont? I mean, the chemical itself for radiators and antifreeze? Because it was too cheap. When they released a new one, it was twice as much money. Not because it was better. And they, at that time, many years ago, they said the antifreeze would go up into the atmosphere and destroy the ozone layer. A lie. My good friend was a scientist, and he was working on that. Freon is heavier than air, so it doesn't rise up and go into the atmosphere. All the lies they fed us, all through history. When they put chemicals in your water, do you understand why they put chemicals in your water? Not that it's good for your teeth. Fluoride's not good for your teeth. It's not good for your body. It's poison, people. But after World War II, they had thousands of barrels of fluoride, and they couldn't legally dump it anywhere. They paid 10 scientists to come out with an idea how to get rid of it.
They put in Southampton, they've been putting fluoride in the water for the last few years, saying it's good for children's teeth, and a lot of people have been kicking up about it.
Well, the United States admitted that. Now, basically, mouthwash and toothpaste are slowly taking fluoride out of everything. You know why? They ran out of it. They had all this reserve fluoride. They could get rid of it. Little by little, they did. Now that it's gone, they're going to start raising the price of fluoride. Just like they do when they want money, and it's not about health, making your teeth better. How many people have teeth problems? 90% of the people still do. So where did the fluoride actually help them? I mean, everybody drinks water, and is it helping their teeth? I don't got any. So again, fluoride is not. And then what do they call? I call it chlorofluorocarbons because they added chlorine to it. You know, that's a toxic chemical, chlorine and fluoride. It's what's actually destroying the ozone layer. All right. So people, when you hear things, nobody gives you the truth. You will hear it here. I don't care if they take me out tomorrow. I'm going to put the truth out there. I keep telling Dana, look, if I'm not hearing that tomorrow, be aware. You know, I just didn't disappear. And people, I will never commit suicide or try it anytime in the near future of my life. All right. because most people in the UFO world that disappear commit suicide, which is ridiculous. Now, this happened last week, people. Just listen to this. It's called the George Washington. It's a ship that carries carriers, a carrier ship. 5 people committed suicide last week.
What?
On that ship.
Well, the USS George Washington.
Yeah. Now, they said, oh, that brings up a time in 1979 when the same thing happened. Oh, after a certain time, all these people committed suicide together. Now, suicide, I was involved with it. Depressed, I'm going to commit suicide. Something happened there. And when in the UFO world, somebody commits suicide, they were usually killed. All right, people. And that's a fact. When Bill Snyder died, he wrapped himself in barbed wire to kill himself. I could think of a billion ways to kill myself, and not wrapping myself in barbed wire and have no blood there and everything else. The whole story is so ridiculous.
I don't know how he managed that. There was questions raised around that at the time, wasn't there?
The whole story is a lie. But again, I could tell you stories like in Long Island when John Ford, all right, he filmed a ship crash on Long Island. It's crystal clear. I saw it. All right. It's the most incredible video ever shot of a UFO crash with the entities and everything around the ship. All right. They arrested him and said he was crazy. He was supposed to go to trial, and they said he was a week later, and this was 1996. They said he was crazy. He had uranium, and he was going to kill people in Congress. So it's a ridiculous story. Impossible. Nobody's going to walk around with uranium in a can and take it out and stick it in people's toothpaste. And that's how they arrested him and put him in a nut house. Now, since 96, every year the government comes in because he's supposed to go to trial. And he wants to go to trial because he could release the videos in trial. But every year the government comes in and says, we have to reevaluate him. They've been doing that since 1996, meaning he has to stay in there another year for evaluation. They're not going to let him out. They're not going to let that video out ever. He said, if I get killed, that video gets... He sent it around the world to 4 different places. All right, I saw it right before he shipped it out. Now, that video will stay there unless he dies. They're not killing him like they do with a lot of... people die in the UFO world. In 1996, 180 UFO people died in 1 year. So, again, people, do you want the truth? Do you want to listen to these people? Good aliens, good government. No, we don't. And now they're blaming the government for everything. No, it's a combination of both.
With that, I just hope nothing happens to this professor from Harvard, Avi Loebi. Guys, you got to look. I'm going to look him up when I come up here because that piece of news was stunning. You got a world-renowned physicist coming out and saying that. I'm in support of him. Just before we go, because it's getting up to about that time. Just before we go, please look at the Microsoft News, the Bang Show 3 hours ago, and it was released. So this occurred. They've obviously had time to do. It's current news because it's a U.S. Space Command report. Now, they've only been going 18 months, if that. So, and again, any reports or more reports from Hawaii, please look out for that. Or more reports, guys. Have a look around Papua New Guinea. Because if this thing landed or entered the water there from another solar system, you're going to start seeing a lot of military ships in that area looking for the thing, or submarines. John, to my knowledge, it's been my experience that they don't have a religion, but I can only tell you what I've seen. They might have it, and I've not noticed it. I can only tell you what I saw.
Well, wait. Before you go any further with it, Tina, religion is just a man's conception of control. It's not like, well, I'm a religious person. We created it. It's not like you're born a religious person. It's a man's idea of controlling people. That's all it is. Aliens control the aliens they release. They wouldn't just free, would we put homeless people on a spaceship to tell them colonize the moon? It's ridiculous. So again, everybody has rules and regulations by their continent, their country. And in space, the hierarchy of different races. All right. And the ones that are powerful don't care about anybody else's rules. Bottom line, United States, we don't care.
I think we view the outer space in the wrong way. It's not a different frontier. I think it's an extension of ours. It's more like, I think someone said once, it's more like a sea. And I think it is. And I think we're at the bottom of that sea, and there's plenty of other things in the water with us. According to the Harvard professor, it's a spacecraft. But guys, between me and now,
no. Talk about your book, Tina, before you go.
Well, I'm still having difficulty. The person that is helping me publish it is away in Norway on holiday, so I hope you're having a great time there at the moment. So I have to wait for them to come back. I'm still having problems, but yes, guys, my book is called Bonded: The Truth About Alien Abduction, the Tina Brady account. I'm hoping it should have been out last year. It should have been out January, February. We're now looking down to May, and it's still not been released. I'm having the problem with the pictures every time we upload the pictures, because I do have pictures and drawings. It seems to throw all the lines off. So we're trying to overcome that as we speak. And it's not a story. It is hypnosis. I haven't been, because of the COVID and everything calming down. It is, and the guy who's doing it is up the other end of the country, unfortunately. So now all the restrictions have been lifted. We're going to look at hypnosis again. I definitely do want that to go ahead. But with the book, I'm hoping as soon as, touch wood and cross fingers, fingers crossed, as soon as that's done, the book will be out. But it is an account. It's not a story. It doesn't go into depth about my life. It just tells you about me at the time, at each interval when this happened and what I remember of it. And it's just a simple synopsis.
I said, I wish I could be there when that happens. I really do. But I think it's something you really need done. And make sure you take the highest trust in this person, no matter who they are.
My lead investigator,
but we want them to bring the real truth out, not a program truth out, because people have no awareness. It's hard to. If somebody's going to try to work
with you, it'll be recorded. I want it
recorded. That. But if I'm going to work with you and tell you to talk about God, and I know nothing about it, I can't help and bring the truth out because I don't know what I'm supposed to even ask. So again, my care and protection goes to Tina because she's got a lot of stuff going on around her. Her ex-friends are always harassing her, hanging out over her. And she denies it, but if she went through hypnosis, I guarantee we could get to the bottom of it and help protect her from that as well.
Not my friend.
But Tina, well, see you next week and stay healthy. And it's always a pleasure.
Look into Microsoft. I'm going to go back and try and see if I can get a follow-up story if anyone knows anything about that. And again, you guys, if you have an answer or a question from a previous show or tonight's show, if you have insights to any of that, please let us know. If you know this professor or you know any other questions or answers to a show, email Tommy, message me, message Tommy. Tommy's going to put his email up on the screen now, any minute now. There it is there at the bottom of the screen, guys. If anyone wants to contact us, please email Tommy. He will read the questions or answers out. If you want to ask a question, we don't know, we will find a specialist or someone that can answer our questions. And we will see you again next week. From me, Tina Brady, it's been a great pleasure to see all you guys in the chat room and especially my co-host Tommy for tonight's show on Encounters. And I will see you all next week. Please stay safe in Hawaii. I'm worried now. They're not too far from you, Tommy. So please stay safe and keep looking up, guys, on Tommy's case. Look down into the ocean.
Love and light, Tina. Till next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.
A great person. Wish we could do it longer, but she's 11 hours different than I am. All right. What I wanted to get into a couple little things. All right. I keep saying I'm hardcore, and I say it because I only care about the truth. I don't care about lies. I don't care about stories. I don't care what people write. Now, 90% of writings all through history are probably maybe 5% truth or 10% truth, and the rest all percentage of storytelling. All right. If I was going to do a biography of myself, I live with myself 24 hours. But if I was going to do a biography of somebody else, do I live with them 24 hours? Do I know what they do when they go in their house and they close the door? Do I know anything about the secrets that go on within them? Of course not. So when I talk about the truth, I can talk about my truth, and I don't try to talk about anybody else's. Tina's here. She can talk about her truth. So I'm not trying to brainwash you, convince you anything other than what the truth is. Now, most people will deny that. Well, we all have our own truth. Everybody can have whatever they want, but it's not the truth. There is only one truth. If you don't know what the truth is, you can't build on that. You can build on a lie real easy. Well, I'm a Batman. I'm Superman. I'm Green Hornet. Really? You can say whatever you want, but the truth is when you can prove your own truth to yourself. And that's what matters. Are you working with angels? Are you working with demons? Are you working with deities? What are you working with? Nobody? How do you know you're spiritual? What makes you spiritual? All those words I challenge people. They can't answer any of them. Where are you going when you die? Well, what do you think you do when you... All these questions, nobody answers. And I said, they're the things you need to learn before you die. All right? Who are you going to be with? What are you going to be with? What are you going to look like? And what are you really going to do, people? You're not going to be coming back to your family and helping them every day, watching over. What are you, super God? And you're a super angel all of a sudden because you died? You don't become something that you're not because you die. All right? Remember that, people. And aliens aren't going to help you become anything better. They're not better. They're not helping us, so they can't be better. Aware beings don't go around killing people, eating people, destroying things. They don't. They don't increase war. They don't help intensify war. That's not a spiritual being. It's not an aware being. But then again, how many spiritual people are aware on this planet? Now, just in case you don't know where I'm coming from, I'm going to tell you, God is all that matters, period. If you don't know God, if you don't understand God, you understand the word spiritual. Love isn't spiritual. We assume it and label it that. We created the words and we made it mean what we want it to mean. Oh, love means this. What's love mean? When you get married, you say these vows. Do they mean anything? Of course not. How many people get divorced years later? 60 to 80% of people getting divorced now. They don't even have the desire to try to stay together, try to work it out, try to fix the problems. No, everybody thinks they're better. All right. So you think aliens are going to come here and make us believe that we're better than them? Why would they do that? They've been trying to control this world for over 40,000 years. They're going to come here and say, "Oh, you're equal. You're smart now. You're a spiritual being." No, you're not, and neither are they. They're in this place called the physical world, and I call it hell. Hell. There is a hell. We're in it. I write letters to the Pope every day as well. He says hell doesn't exist. I said, yeah, because you're in it, and you can't even face where you are. In hell, anything can go. In heaven, it doesn't. There's people you can't kill, can't destroy, can't eat people in heaven. Sorry, people. It's a different reality. And you think you're going to get there by the awareness that you have here? What are you learning that teaches you anything about that? Anything. Get a good job, get good money, have a lot of children, do drugs when you feel bad, drink when you're not happy. What are you learning? What do you know about God? I challenge anybody about God because that's all I talk about. Jesus is almost as important as God. Jesus never was God, never said he was. And Christianity made him God. All right? They twisted his words. A lot of the stuff in the Bible was written by man. Man didn't take shorthand in those days. So if Jesus was talking, how do you think they took all the notes without a tape recorder, without a steno and shorthand and all these other words? They didn't. So they had to fill in whatever they assumed what he was saying. And nobody in general understood what Jesus was teaching. And they still don't. And it wasn't, he taught about aliens. Really, people. He mentioned it. He didn't go on teaching about them because there's nothing to learn from them. Except they tried to control the human race all through history. And they did. They reprogrammed man to be killers, rapists, murderers, told us sacrifice is right. Really? What they taught the Egyptians was incredibly all lies. I mean, in Hinduism, they were working with deities. But in Egyptian and all those places, they were working with aliens. And alien teachings are ridiculous, people. Oh, this pyramid shoots a beam of light and what? Destroys another planet? What good would it do? Oh, communicate to what? For what reason? If you can come here and leave here, why would you want to have this special entity thing called a pyramid? Why would it have to be so big? We make everything smaller and smaller every year. Do you remember what a TV had inside it? Billions of tubes and everything else. Now it could be this big. All right? We make things small. We went from cassettes to little CDs. All right? We changed everything to make it smaller, not bigger. Why build a giant pyramid? You can make 10 billion of them in the same place where you had one. We're sending satellites up. They used to be the size of a giant trailer and stuff. You know how big they are? The size of a matchbox. Seriously, people. Are you ready to face any kind of truth? Do you care about what the truth is? Or do you want to live in La La Land? Listen to all the UFO people out there. I challenge every single one of them. Not one of them has the balls to come out and debate me or talk to me. All right, when I was lecturing with Sergeant 18, we were there, and a lot of them came to us and asked us and talked to us and wanted us to do this and that. All right, I'm upset. We couldn't keep it together. We always had problems. We were together for 6 years straight. We had a fight. We separated for about 8 years. We got back together. We did Kerry Cassidy's show for 9 months, and then we had a fight again, and now we're having another fight. I have a friend that he hates, and it's kind of screwed everything up. But I'm not going to go into it. But again, do you want the truth? Now, and the problem with me and him, he suddenly went from this being talking about aliens and everything else to being more of a Christian, even though he doesn't like the word. He has a statue of the Virgin Mary in back of him. He says he worked with a nun and that wasn't really there and all this stuff. He meets Jesus. Well, that's what I have a problem with. I had a lifetime with Jesus. I had communication with him in this lifetime. I said, ask him a question. And the one question, he said, well, yeah, you're right. I said, well, ask him another question. And I don't believe anybody when they talk about things like that. Well, I work with Gabriel. Oh, really? Muhammad met Gabriel and worked with him, and he wrote all these things. Read them. Go into the Muslim religion. Pull up what Muhammad learned from Gabriel. Read the sentences that he wrote. Every other one contradicts the one before it. Why that? You can't write a teaching and have them contradict each other, whatever you're saying. Guess what? People, do you want to follow the truth? Do you want to follow lies? Go to a UFO conference. Spend all your money and send me $10, and I give you 10 times more information in a day than they would give you in a week. Stephen Greer, all right, is out there doing a horrible thing to the world. What I see, and I say that because of what's happening. Spending millions of dollars to build a place for alien people to come to learn how to talk to aliens. If I get censored, I get censored. I'm putting it out right now. Hopefully you're watching it now, because who knows what the freaking people that sit back here and watch what I say and do. All right. I'm into truth. I don't care. I'm going to live in truth and die in it. I'm not going to die in somebody else's lies. I'm going to see God into the higher realms. I mean, I'm not going to be directly with God. It's too hard to get there, especially in all the time frames of the other realms that you have to work your way through. But I don't have to go to the exoplane and stay there either. All right. No, but very few people know anything about what the exoplane is even. Well, Montauk is a time experiment. No, Montauk is a dangerous place. It's kind of changed now. It's so different. They destroyed it. They actually completely closed it up with concrete because they didn't want anybody to go inside it ever again. All right. I was out there. I found a new base where I'm not going to get into that. I might do a show on that one day. Then I'll probably be taken out. So, yeah, I don't want to talk about things that the government doesn't want out publicly. All right. In general. Do they care? They don't care because they say everybody that talks about aliens, people think they're crazy anyway. All right. And their videos, they say, well, that's fake video anyway. If you saw John Ford's video of the ship on Long Island and went out there, you would know it's real. Because for 2 weeks, black trailers were going in and out of it while it was supposedly burning down. Long Island's flatland. There's no way a fire could last for two weeks long on the island with fire engines and seaboats shooting water at it and everything go on for that long. But I went to where the ship crashed. I saw where it came down and notched out all the trees for almost half a mile. They tried burning it all down, which didn't work because all the burned trees are still there. And all the notches are in all the trees where the ship came in and rode across the ground. But again, people, the truth's there. Do you want to believe the truth or would you rather believe some guy? I got the truth and I'm going to tell you. I only tell you what I know directly. All right. And I didn't get into it while Tina was on. I was a foot away from a Bigfoot. Seriously. And that's when I was up where Tesla was working. That's where Sargel and me did all our UFO work, filming all kinds of weird creatures and chips and everything else under the sun. All right. It was government property. Signs all around it saying if you get caught here, you will be shot. I mean, I could tell you weird things that went on here all the time. I mean, a lot of times we jumped in the weeds and tried to hide and everything else, but the whole mountain lit up and all kinds of strange stuff went on. Einstein also worked with an alien. his relativity was a lie. 60% of what he came out with might have been true, but 40% were complete lies. He said we can't go backwards and forwards in time. That's something he said, which is a lie. All right. He said something about size of an object. He said the maximum size any object could ever attain was a certain size. About 7 years ago, the biggest object in the universe was detected, and it was 1,000 times bigger than what Tesla said could exist. So, he was working with aliens as well as Tesla was. But the aliens Tesla was working with gave him real inventions. 200. But they gave him 50 dangerous weapons, which the United States government took. Einstein came out with theories. I mean, when you travel through time, you get younger and all those kind of things. We're going to be traveling through time for a long period of time, which we can't do. You can't have your body up in space that long. You can't do all these things that we talk about. And when people say they've been up in a plane and they have a good ship and they had a good trip, are they radioactive? Did they give you a spacesuit to put on to protect you from it? How come you're not radioactive? That Tina's radioactive, and we're proving it. There's ships over her house. She could go out almost any other night and take a picture of a ship above her house. I say they're watching her, and they are. She had multiple implants removed from her and her boyfriend. Do you care about the truth? This is one show you're going to hear it. From her experience, my experience, I can't be abducted. I was next to an alien. I was next to a ship. I was watching my brother almost abducted, and I stopped it. So, yeah, my truth's a lot more important than what everybody else is saying. Now, here's something that I'm going to say it again. In my lifetime, I started doing hypnosis at 4. I learned it at 12 and was doing it at 14. I started with group hypnosis. Then I went into psychic implant removal and past life regression. All right? At that time. But I was working with all UFO people abducted and things like that. But I wasn't writing stories and trying to make money off of what they said. I was trying to help them survive what they went through. A few different women lost their child at 8.7 or 8 months pregnant. All right? I saw the sonogram. I saw the evidence. She went into the hospital. They took the sonogram of the baby and everything else. The next day, she went back to the hospital, and there was not one trace of her being pregnant. The hospital just denied the whole story. When Tina was taken into the hospital, she had something inside her, and they removed it. She was never allowed to see that video. She went to court to get it. And they said, oh, no, we can't let you see that. It's controversial. What they cut out of her stomach is controversial. Does that make sense, people? Do you understand that? She's one of the few people that have that kind of story to talk about. I don't promote lies. I don't promote storytellers. I can't deal with liars, period. And that's why I'm so hardcore, because 99% of the people out there are telling stories. And I've been trying to get in touch with these people, and they're so afraid to talk to me. I think Luis Elizondo is working for the government still, and he can't say much. I challenge him. I said, look, do you want the truth? Do you want to know what's going on or not? Do you want to live around a tic-tac? Sergeant and I, we filmed ships that look like ships, not dots and dashes and streaks. And we showed them around the United States for years. I can't release them because he copyrighted everything we did. Thousands of pictures we shot every night. He downloaded them. He spent all night downloading and all the stuff and everything. But he copyrighted it all. And he was dying. He was really sick. And he said he'll give me all the pictures. And then suddenly he's healthy again. And now he's got tons of money. So obviously he's not out there mainstream. He always said to me, if the government ever gave me a lot of money, I would pull back. So people, I lose my friends. I don't want anybody in my life that's a liar. First off, I don't want anybody else in my life that's a storyteller. I don't want anybody in my life that can't deal with the truth, which is most people. I don't do this show for everybody. Who's Tina? Wolf? Who's Tina to me, or who's Tina? Tina Burns, my co-host. What are we just asking about? I'm sorry. So we're in a serious position right now, people. Oh, greeting, everybody coming in. I'm going on. I usually don't go over an hour because Tina has to leave, but I I try to do it sometimes when there's so much to say and I don't have the time to say it. I wanted to get into a lot of topics today, more about what's going on with the world and war and everything else, what aliens have to do with it, why are they here, why aren't they helping us? All right. You know, uh, when I was lecturing with Sargel many years ago, he used to talk about aliens and stuff, and I used to talk about the spiritual side of everything. We were a great team. As a matter of fact, wherever we went, we were accepted. They wanted us there. They made us stay there and all kinds of things. But here's the thing. I don't have an ego. You might think I do. When I challenge a person, it's not coming from ego. I just want the truth to come out. If you got the truth and you're going to say it, say it. Put it out there. If you don't have the truth, don't open your mouth. Yes, that, Tina. So people, what you see here is what you get. The truth. That's what I allow myself to do, and that's what Tina does as well. I opened up my show to her. We've been doing it for over a year. I don't trust anybody else. I worked with TJ Morris for many years, and I don't agree with half of the stuff she believes or says. And that's why I'm not still directly with her. All right? I can't deal with it. I don't know how. Like when I tell people what Putin said, he's evil. But what he said 2 or 3 months before Trump got elected, people listen to this. I don't care if people believe it or not. Well, it's not Putin that wants one world government. It's the world that wants one world government. In 1999, 192 countries agreed on creating one world order. That's what the word is. Now listen, people. And if you don't know what this means, don't know anything about it, read about it, understand it, and learn what it is. UN Agenda 21-30. We're already in fourth phase of it, which has to do with the virus and everything else. But read about it. Read what it means. It will be here in 2030, within 8 years, all right? Now, are the aliens going to let it happen? Is God going to allow it to happen? Well, God's not watching this world in a lot of different ways. This is hell. We're here to create, and we don't create anything good. God granted us that ability. We just decided to create a hell instead of a beautiful place. Atlantis, it was a beautiful place. And the two races came down and destroyed that. Well, the Wanakee Vortex is with Sargel 18 and I. We were together. I shot a picture and I shot the first orb. And then that's when Brian went into the whole orb thing. I don't care what he says. We went to New York City and he said, well, we're going to film orbs right here in front of everybody, which we did. We're the first people in 1996 to go public saying we can film orbs anywhere, anytime. And we were able to. And when we were lecturing around the United States, we took people out at nighttime. I don't know how to put a picture up right now, but I was dancing and they filmed hundreds and thousands of orbs around me. And 3 different people with different cameras shot it. So it wasn't like it was a stupid camera with dust on it. It wasn't rain. It wasn't this, that, or everything. But the fact is, what are orbs? They're multiple things. It's not like they're just beings. They're not just spaceships. There are a lot of different things, people. I'm not going to get into that because that's not very important to what's happening in this moment. The most important thing that's happening in this moment is what people are willing to accept. Gold will always be valuable, people. They're going to make everybody sell the gold. If you have gold, please hold on to it. Hide it. Stick it away. Don't think about it. Because the next couple of years are going to destroy it the best they can to eliminate the market in the world, and then they could reopen the world with gold. Diamonds, real diamonds, are just as precious. They're going to stop making them. I mean, you're not going to get real diamonds anymore, people. If you have real diamonds, save them as well. Not little ones. Little ones are useless, but big diamonds. All right. Now, the only other thing I'm going to tell you, meteorites. Let me show you mine. It's up there on my altar. What was that? Oh, man. Sorry, I wanted to show you this. I got too much to do in a short period of time. I wanted to show you my friend's card deck that she has out there. I'll do it next week or next show. I do. I'm sorry, it's all over the floor. I gotta put them all together. All right, see this? All right, it's pretty heavy, but guess what? It fits my hand like a glove. I would say it's probably one of the most powerful meteorites on the planet because it's one of the oldest meteorites on the planet. It was a fortune. All right, I couldn't even afford the paperwork for it because he wanted a couple $1,000s for it. I said I don't need that. I just need the meteorite. All right, it's metal. There's different kinds of meteorites. One's rock, one's stone, one's metal. Some are both. All right, this one's metal. This one here. All right, this is a meteorite. This one here, I don't know if you can see it. That little teeny dot in there is called, right there, it's called God's eye. Under a microscope, no matter how you look at it, it looks like the seeing eye. On any piece of the meteorite, it was cut into billions of pieces and sold for a fortune. It landed in the United States. I paid a fortune for that little teeny piece, but again, I never took it off since I got it. The big one, but it is too heavy, and I feel I don't need to bring that energy around the planet because I got to try to keep it where I am. So people, I don't want to get way out off stream here. So if you have a way to put this link on anybody else's site, please do it for me. I think people need to hear, see, or listen. I'm not here to make money. Money helps, always does, but I'm not here charging you money for anything. I'm trying to do my workshop, but I was going to do one yesterday. I ran out of time. I got a couple of little problems going on, crime and stuff around the neighborhood and things, and getting prepared. I promise you I'll keep at it. I'm going to bring up the next one I'm going to do in the next couple of days is going to be a 4-letter word, LOVE. Definition, what it really is. All right. On a spiritual side, not the physical idea what love is and all that, because people don't know. Same as people don't know what spiritual means. I mean, what the word was created by a person that had an idea what he wanted to call it. Words were created by a person, and that person creates the idea what it resonates at. And I'm telling you, basically it's supposed to be based on Luciferian teachings and wording and black magic. But again, I don't want to get into that. I don't care about that. I said it's more of a reality. If I say Google and that's like the longest word number with 100 numbers after it, letters, circles, whatever. Sorry, I'm running out of time here. People, please try to promote this. Send it to whoever you can. All right. Blog Talk Radio had all those shows. All right. Try to send this link out. Anybody that has a way of putting it on their sites and stuff. I'm going after all the UFO speakers out there, making tons of money. Just so you know, you go to a conference, whoever your main speaker is, whether it's people from coast to coast or from ancient aliens, whatever it is, they get paid $20,000 to talk for 2 hours at a UFO conference. Are they worth it? They're not going to give you any important information. If you watch Ancient Aliens, you get all those people's stories all the time. Now they're going to meet with Tina. They're going to be facing real truth, not storytellers, not stories, but the real truth. And like I said, I would love to be there when they do hypnosis with her because I don't want them to really bring her in the wrong direction or bring the wrong entities into her reality. All right. But this is as real as it gets, people. I've been involved with so many different things in my life, mostly bad and worse, not good and better. But the truth is, if you don't go through hardships, if you don't go through the hard time, you're not going to learn the truth. You're not going to have a reason to look for it. When you're happy, which people think life is all about being happy, you don't look for anything else. My whole life was so happy. And what'd you learn? Not to become poor, not all the other things that poor people learn. Or middle-class people learn. Well, the truth is out there, people. And remember, the X-Files was real stories. I know there's people out there. He was on with Tina, and he claimed that he wrote all the stories for them. No, they're all documented stories from police records, believe it or not. Every one of them, including the Jersey Monster and things like that, the second X-File. But are you ready for the truth? Do you want it? And if you get it, are you ready? I got a book, How to See a UFO Field Manual. If you want it, text me. I'll send it to you for free. It'll give you a real simple way to see a UFO in a short period of time, if that's what you want to do. But I'm ending it now. It's always a pleasure to put whatever I can out there for you people, not for me. I'm not doing this for me. I know what I know. It's not going to help me tell myself what I know. It might help one person take another step in their spiritual growth, whatever that means to them. And hopefully it means a lot, because you're not taking it by going to school. You're not going to get it there. You're not going to get it in college. You're not going to get it hanging around with scientists. They actually try to disprove everything. My brother was a chemist. He went to a Catholic school, and he was an atheist. So guess what? They didn't help him learn about God in any level. As a matter of fact, they were proving that it wasn't real. All right. Till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here. Let me touch the screen and see if it does anything for you. Put it this way. I'll touch the camera. Knock my camera out. All right, people. We're back. So till next time. Peace, love, compassion. Whatever you need in your life, don't stop until you get it. Regression therapy for Tina is very important because she doesn't know everything that happened. Soul people knows everything. Everything you ever went through in any lifetime, everything you ever gone through in this lifetime, and exactly who and what you really are. It's the mind that doesn't remember, care, or use things in the right way. So with that, peace, love, compassion. Enjoy your night, enjoy your day, wherever you are. Till next time.